and welcome back to Naked Tax Talk. I'm Jonathan Bengel, and today I want to ask you a question that may sound strange coming from someone who spent more than 20 years helping people legally reduce their taxes. What if I told you that paying less tax isn't actually the goal? Now, don't click away just yet. I promise I'm not going soft. I still love tax strategies. I still love helping people keep more of what they earn. But somewhere along the way, I realized something. The happiest clients I work with aren't necessarily the ones who pay the least tax. They're the ones who have peace. Not long ago, I was sitting across from a business owner. Great business. Healthy revenue, smart, hardworking, the kind of entrepreneur everyone would assume has it all together. But as we start talking, I realized this meeting wasn't really about taxes. It was about fear. Fear of making the wrong decision. Fear of not having enough. Fear that if business slowed down, everything they built could disappear. And I remember thinking, I've seen this before. In fact, I've seen it thousands of times. People come into my office asking me to save them taxes. But underneath that request is another one. Jonathan, help me feel safe. That's a very different conversation. You know what I really hear? I want to pay more taxes. Nobody says that. But I also don't hear people say, I want to create financial peace. Instead, they say things like, I just don't want to owe. I don't want to get audited. I don't want to lose everything. Those statements aren't about tax law. They're about emotion. Money is emotional. Always has been, always will be. Now, I'll be honest with you. There was a time when I believed if I just made enough, everything else would fall into place. Then I'd reach the next goal, and another one, and another one. But every time I crossed a finish line, another finish line appeared. What I eventually realized was this. Money can solve financial problems. It cannot solve emotional ones. Peace doesn't magically arrive because your income doubles. Peace comes from knowing where you're going and why you're going there and having confidence that you can weather the unexpected. So let me give you a practical example. Every year someone says, Jonathan, I don't want to make any more because I'll owe more taxes. Nice smile, because that's not how wealth works. If you earn another $100,000, yes, you may owe more tax, but you also have substantially more after-tax income than you did before. Don't let the fear of taxes keep you from growing. The goal isn't to avoid taxes. The goal is to create wealth intentionally. So here's what I want you to think about this week. Instead of asking, how do I pay less tax? How do you pay less tax? Try asking, what would give me more financial peace? Maybe it's finally creating an emergency fund. Maybe it's paying off debt. Maybe it's charging what you're worth. Maybe it's having a tax strategy instead of hoping for a refund. Maybe it's spending more time and more evenings with your family instead of working until midnight. Financial peace looks different for everyone, but it's almost never found by accident. And that's today's naked truth. Taxes matter. Business matters. Money matters. But if all those things don't ultimately help you create a better life, then we're missing the point. And thank you for joining me today. If this conversation resonated with you, subscribe, leave a comment, and tell me, what does financial peace look like for you? Until next time, I'm Jonathan Bengel. This has been Naked Tax Talk. Pardon me. This has been Naked Tax Talk. And keeping your wealth, but never forget why you wanted it in the first place. Until then, toodles noodles.